this is Dana Daniels, and welcome to Show and Tell. Today's guest is Laurence Boag, son of legendary Disneyland comedian Wally Boag. Before we bring Laurence on, I just want to tell you about a few of my experiences meeting Wally. I was 18 years old the first time I ever saw Wally perform in the Horseshoe. I was newly hired at Disneyland in the entertainment character department. And I went in there and I saw the show, and he just blew me away. I mean, he was so funny, his timing was just impeccable, and he was just an inspiration. Right away, I wanted to be Wally Boag. And, well, I'm not the only one. He's inspired many magicians and comedians over the years. In fact, there's one that's very popular, very famous, and I obtained a audio recording of him talking about his first experience seeing Wally Boag.
People saw you. I saw you hundreds and hundreds of times when I was a young boy. I must have been 10 or 11 when I first saw your show. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how funny you were. You were the first comedian I ever saw live, and I memorized your act. I had a secret dream that one day you would have a very bad cold, and I would be sitting in the audience, and someone would say, "Is there an 11-year-old boy who could possibly fill in?" And I would just have to go on for you. And I knew all your jokes, I knew all the timing, and that influenced my comedy and my life so much. And you did balloon animals, and later I did a bad version of balloon animals that got the audiences roaring, and I owe you for that. So thank you so much.
Isn't that great? Also, in my research before doing this interview, I was looking through this right here. This is a book called Wally Boag, Clown Prince of Disneyland. And if you want one of these, you can contact our guest, Laurence Boag. I think he still has some available. And we'll put how to get in contact with him after the show. Anyways, I was flipping through here. There's some great photographs, great history about Wally. And for instance, back the early 60s, I think he was doing interviews for ABC out in front of the Horseshoe, interviewing different celebrities. And there's a really fun some pictures of him interviewing Buster Keaton, legendary comedian and film actor Buster Keaton. And Buster is always known for giving a pie in the face, and there's some pictures of him giving Wally a pie in the face, and that's just great. And then there's some pictures of Julie Andrews. Apparently Julie and Wally used to perform together in London. Julie was like 12 years old, and he would bring her up on stage like she's a volunteer, and then she would end up singing a song and blowing everybody away with her voice. And so years later, when Julie was promoting Mary Poppins, when it just came out, and she was in the park, and they did a show together in the Horseshoe. And there's some pictures of that. Why isn't there a film of that? I don't know. Is there a film of that somewhere? I mean, wouldn't you love to see that? Anyways, so that's fun to see. And then there's a photograph of Wally performing in 1947, a command performance for King George VI and Queen Elizabeth. Big cast photo, and if you zoom in, you can see Wally. And so I began to wonder. I was looking at this photograph, and that's so cool. I wonder if there's any other performers in this photograph I would recognize. So I'm looking through very carefully, and wait, look over here, Wait, is that Laurel and Hardy? How cool is that? So just a lot of fun finds in this book. I highly recommend, if you're a Disneyland fan, and especially a Wally Boag fan, you need to have this book. Mine's autographed by Wally. So anyways, so I didn't really, I met Wally briefly when I was working there in the entertainment department. He retired in 1982. And then I got hired as a magician and comedian by 1983. And then the replacement for Wally, very funny guy, Dick Hardwick, took over the role. And then I got hired to be Dick's understudy. So I got to do the part that Wally did occasionally, and it was just a great experience for me. Years later, I had my own show in the Horseshoe in the 90s, 95 through 03. For 8 years, I had my own show in the Horseshoe, and Wally would come in the park once in a while and sit in the front row, and he would blow up a balloon and then throw it at me, or while I'm doing my act. And that's where I began a friendship with Wally. We would have lunch. He would tell me stories about back in the day, and it was just great. And in fact, my very last show in the Horseshoe was in October of 2003. I invited Wally to come to my very last performance. Wally, and he did. He came there, and so just before we finished the show, I decided I'm going to go down and interview him. So we got a microphone. I went down there, and we did some questions and answers with Wally. And here's one of the questions I had. Wally also was the voice of Jose the parrot he still is the voice of Jose the parrot in the Tiki Room. So I asked him about that. Here's a little bit of Jose, and then Wally talking about Jose.
Time. Oh, buenos dias, senorita. My siestas are getting shorter and shorter. Oh, look at all the people. And welcome to Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room.
Now, you were the voice in the Tiki Room.
Yes, I'm Jose.
He's Jose the parrot.
Buenos dias, senor Senorita. Stop coughing while I'm talking. Oh, I think it's showtime.
I hope you enjoyed that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest today, Mr. Laurence Boag.
I am. Good to see you, Dana.
Good to see you too, Laurence. How are you?
I'm doing great in this crazy time. Great.
Now, your dad is, for anyone who doesn't know out there, was the comedian in the Golden Horseshoe Revue, hired by Walt Disney when Disneyland was being built, and he had these. I don't know if he had auditions, and then
This is at the studio.
Yeah,
That was on an empty stage, and Walt was the only one there.
Wow.
And, he performed for Walt. It's pretty funny because I have a tape recording of Walt talking about it, and Walt was saying that it was a great act, but it was a little colorful, and Dad said he could clean it up.
Oh.
Because Dad was vaudeville, so.
Yeah. Well, that's what a great story. And then, so your dad was in the Golden Horseshoe as a comedian, and he really did help form that show.
Oh, absolutely.
So iconic, yeah.
Absolutely. And it was a 2-week contract.
Or as your dad would say, or was the contract 2 week?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's very good. Yeah, and they put that show together, and Dad sort of molded it over the next. How long was he there? 27 years, I think.
Yeah, he retired in '82, I believe it was.
Yeah, so
I was there. I was there at the last show.
There you go.
Watching it.
And, in the back we have a cabinet full of his goodies.
Can you bring some stuff over? We could take a look at it.
One of the great things that I like, and that this might look backwards, but this is his original 1955, and it's July 16th of 1955.
Ah, he looks like Buddy Holly in that picture.
He does. Yeah, and I've got all of his original name tags. I collected them all, like this one, but this is the original.
That looks like from 1976.
All this was a number.
Oh, wow.
That's 1955.
Is that really?
Yeah.
I've never seen one of those before. That is really cool.
He was number 4339. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, it's really funny because Disney files, I mean, you go to like D23 and people eat stuff up, like his balloon animal, kits.
Oh, wait, what'd you say?
Oh, there you go. And that's signed by him. Yep.
Yeah. Well, we signed up here.
Hold on to that. If you go to eBay, people are making a fortune on those. It cracks me up.
I will never sell this. You kidding me? Actually, I think I have two. And I think one of them actually still has balloons in it.
Well, they must be pretty rotten by now.
Yeah, I haven't opened it. I don't want to open it. But they used to sell these in the park.
Yeah, and then in the 1960s, I used to be in Dad's dressing room folding those boxes, rolling the balloons up. I had to choose the right balloons to make the animals. I'd roll them up. I'd put them in the directions and stuff those boxes.
And it says Bogaloon animals, instructions inside, and balloons. And then on the back it says, see Wally Boag at the Golden Horseshoe Disneyland.
Yeah.
Up here it says, actually, it was 7 years ago they operated on Father, which was a punchline to
Mother's Mail.
A follow-up punchline to one of his jokes. Yeah.
Yeah, when they opened Mother's Mail.
They operated.
Yeah. So
when they operated on when they operated on Father, they opened Mother's Mail.
That's right. Yeah. Do you have the directions for the balloons?
No, they're not in here. Not in this one.
Oh well, my goodness! I'm gonna.
I think I have it. I think I do have some though. Okay. Somewhere else. Yeah.
I have the original ones from the '60s. They're not duplicates. So.
And then here's something else from the Horseshoe. It's not really, just someone gave this to me.
Oh yeah.
But I guess they used to sell these, or you would get a drink.
Oh right.
Like that. It came from the Horseshoe. I don't know what era. It looks like it could be 60s or 70s.
Yeah.
But
Luigi really alive? Because I don't see. Oh, there he is.
He's right here. He's all right. He's good. You ever seen a bird throw up? He's already turning green. Wow. I'm doing the act.
It's a great act. And I love the poster back there.
Oh, you know what? Let me show you. I got a couple of posters. Let me see. I can go mobile. I'm on a computer. Yeah, we do have this Golden Horseshoe poster.
Yeah, that's right.
An original one.
Yeah.
It was given to me by a friend of mine named Mike Caveney. He's a magician and a poster collector, and he got it. I don't know who from, but it's an authentic park poster of the Golden Horseshoe.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and then I have another one. I love this one, but this is not. Oh, I forget where I got this one. But
that's very cool.
Yeah, wow. But I have a poster your dad gave me.
I love your house.
Thanks. This is the Carousel Progress.
Yes.
And one time I went to your dad's house to go visit him, and then he took me in the garage and he peeled one off. He had a stack of them, and he gave me one of these Carousel Progress posters.
Well, let me tell you the story of the genesis of that poster that he had. So,
I would love to hear this.
He got the studios to give him huge posters of every attraction in Disneyland. And he had a house, in those days it was in Fullerton, and he tore the posters up into different, he would tear around things.
He tore them up?
Yeah. And he decoupaged this entire room, all four walls and the ceiling, with all of these different posters of rides and attractions. Now, he didn't like the Carousel Progress as much as some of the others, so that's why he had a big stack of them left. So today, I still have a half dozen or a dozen left, and I rounded up some of the original cast members who opened the Carousel Progress. I forget what year it was, like 64 or 5 after the World's Fair, and I gave them the original posters, and they were thrilled.
I would imagine. I love mine.
It's pretty neat.
So nostalgic, and then I love that Wally gave it to me. So. And
I have to tell the story of when I first saw your act. It was at the Disneyland Hotel. It was the 50th anniversary of Disneyland. It was the Disneyland alumni.
Yes.
Huge gathering. Art Linkletter was there, and it was just a great show. Yeah. And I was taking care of my parents in Santa Monica, where I was actually born. And in the house there, I was taking care of both of them by then. He was 85, and I had to drive for them. So I drove them from Santa Monica to the Disneyland Hotel, which isn't very far, but it's Los Angeles, so it's traffic. And we got there in plenty of time, and we went to the room, and about an hour before he needed to go to the theater and report backstage, where I met Luigi, as a matter of fact, he discovered that he'd forgotten his toupee. I had to jump in the car and drive as fast as I could to Santa Monica and get back in time for him to go on because he just needed to do the original toupee.
Oh yeah, that's his bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so hot up here.
Yeah.
So I inherited
that is so funny.
But it was pretty funny. He was.
Do you have the toupee?
I do have. Yeah, they're in a toupee box. It's kind of.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would have it on a little styrofoam head or something. That's something.
Well, it's really funny because I have a plaster cast of Dad's head that they made when he was doubling for Fred McMurray in The Absent-Minded Professor, and they had to build a mask.
That's right. Your dad was in a lot of the Disney movies.
Yeah, he had bit parts, but he also did a lot of the doubling for actors. And so I had this cast head, and
Fred McMurray?
Well, Dad.
Oh, Dad.
To build the mask to go to fit Dad perfectly to look like Fred McMurray.
Right.
But the original cast head used to have it. He used to have it in his office with his toupee on it. And when he would go to do the show, he'd just take the toupee off of the cast. Now that's in a box somewhere because it gives me the heebie-jeebies, quite frankly.
That's great. I remember one time I picked up your dad at his house, and we went to the Magic Castle for brunch, and we're driving there, and it was shortly after Disney gave Steve Martin a Lifetime Achievement Award or something,
Right.
And your dad was there to present it to him. And
Right.
so I mentioned it. I said, wow, it must have been a lot of fun for you to see Steve Martin again and give him this award. And he said, the Lifetime Achievement Award. And he says, yeah, but, he only worked there 8 years. I don't understand why he got one. I was like, I think it might be for the movies he did. Not for his work in the magic shop.
Yeah. I think it was, Well, he was kind of losing it there towards the end.
I don't know if that was a joke or he was serious.
I think it was probably a joke,
Yeah. Well, I'm going to think it's a joke. Yeah.
Over in the 1989
that is so awesome.
Santa Monica earthquake, and it broke all up, and Chuck Boyer completely redid it for him. Isn't that
Chuck
great?
Boyer. Really? The artist. Yeah.
It's amazingly heavy.
Wow. Listen, if you ever don't get tired of having it, I know another place that it would be very happy to have.
Yeah, no, I bet you do.
I got a spot right here for you.
It's modeled on that photograph.
Oh, that's a great photo.
Yeah.
God, he had such a comic rubber face.
Oh, I know. So I'll show you. This is here he is with Gene Kelly and Donald O'Connor when he was dancing in one of the MGM films. So that's contracted with them.
Yes.
I was amazed. I don't know where people come up with this stuff, but I was amazed to see on YouTube scenes of him doing the Ed Sullivan Show when he was 24.
Who's that?
Dad.
Your dad was on Ed Sullivan.
Yeah, a few times. But you can see, if you YouTube Ed Sullivan, Wally Boag, you'll see him when he was young and then older doing pretty much the same routines. He would do.
Now, your mom was the Coca-Cola girl in 1940.
1939, yeah. Miss
39. Okay, I thought it was 40.
Yeah. Now, I have that. Now, okay, you want to see that. Let me get that. This is the original calendar.
Wow.
And it says on the back, I have to put my glasses on because I'm old. It says, for Lori, because that's what my mother called me. With love from the Coca-Cola girl, 1939, your very own mama.
Oh.
That's what it says on the back there. So
wow.
That was nice. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And such a sweet lady.
Yeah, she was quite the catch for my father. She was
real quick, your dad was also on an episode of The Muppets.
Yeah, he certainly
was the guest star on a Muppet show.
Yeah. So yeah, he was a guest star on the Muppet Show, and I think it was 80. It must have been. It was before he retired because he had to get permission from
Yeah,
Disney.
it was. I remember seeing it on television,
82,
and
I think.
it was probably 80 or 81, 82, somewhere in there. Yeah, he retired in 82, but it was before he retired.
Well, he just thought that was one of the best things he just had such a good time.
And Jim Henson was a huge
big fan.
Golden Horseshoe Wally Boag fan.
Yes, he was a big fan, and he actually met him at a Steve Martin party. And Steve introduced him to Jim, and Jim said, "Can you do my show?" So,
wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it was a fun episode.
Yeah, I was a high school teacher back in 82. I was teaching at Chico State. And I remember telling my students, "Hey, my dad's going to be on the Muppet Show tonight." They didn't believe me, but a couple watched it and said, "He does have the same name." And I said, "Yeah, it's my dad." You know?
Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
Hey, Laurence, thanks for doing this. This is great.
You're welcome, Dana. Thank you very much for inviting me, and you take care of yourself and stay healthy.
I will. You too, my friend.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Everybody say goodbye to Laurence.
Ciao. Bye, Luigi. Bye, Dana.
Yeah, thank you, Wally.